Torrent as the hosts. This is the first game for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Bavarians United, this is their second match. We're so pleased to be kicking off this 2022 season here at Hart Park. My name is Simon Provan. So thankful to have you with us. We're going to be doing something a little bit different this season on this stream. Instead of me going through the starting lineups, we're going to turn it over to Dylan Dooley, our PA announcer.
Fans, here are the first 11. Let's meet Bavarian United, the visitors in this match. Number 4, Brittany Bailey. Number 7, Haley Block. Number 10, Rachel Gallick. Number 0, Parker Donahue. Number 8, Emily Ellert. Number 12, Marissa Griezet. Number 3, Molly Piper. Number 15, Hannah Krupa. Number 19, Trudy Kudzinski. Number 6, Gabby Schwartz.
And number 22, Brandy Thompson. Head coach.
Well, after some technical difficulties, we are going to actually have me end up doing the starting 11. So we will start with Bavarian United. Number 4, Brittany Bailey out of Quincy University. Number 7, Haley Block out of Marquette. Number 10, Rachel Dallett out of UW-Madison. 0, Parker Donahue out of Milwaukee. Emily Ellert wearing number 8 out of Mercyhurst University. Number 12, Marissa Griesiak out of Indiana. Number 3, Molly Kuiper out of Marquette. Number 15, Hannah Krupa out of UW-Stevens Point. Number 19, Trudy Kudzinski out of Milwaukee. Gabby Schwartz wearing number 6, also from UW-Milwaukee. And number 22, Brandy Thompson out of Cincinnati. And now the starters for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Making her debut for the Torrent, Mickey Easter. Number 9, Lola Wojcik. Number 10, Lainey Higgins. Both Wojcik and Higgins will be making their debuts with the Torrent, and both out of UW-Milwaukee. Number 11, Shannon McWilliams, a returning player. Number 12, Ryan Locante out of Ball State University. Number 13, Bonnie Lacey, also a returning player. She is out of Marquette. Number 14, Mia Hurdle out of Marquette. Number 23, another player out of Marquette, Elsie Twombly. Number 21, Kenzie Balsaric. Number 24, returning to the Torrent after spending a couple of seasons with the Chicago Red Stars reserves, Haley Johnson. And number 31 in captain, Kelly Swenson. We break now for the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the stream here for FC Milwaukee Torrent. At this time, we are going to take a moment of silence to mourn the loss of lives in the recent shootings in Buffalo, New York, here in Milwaukee.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if you could please rise.
Uvalde, Texas,
Silence.
and Santa Ana, California.
Loss of lives in the recent shootings in Buffalo, New York, Santa Ana, California, Uvalde, Texas, and here in our backyard in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Our deepest sympathies go out to the victims and their families and friends. Thank you.
After that moment of silence recognizing all those victims and, of course, their families and friends, we are just about ready here for some WPSL action here at Hart Park in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, home of FC Milwaukee Torrent. Gone through the starting lineups. Let's talk about the head coaches. Andy Davi, head coach of FC Milwaukee Torrent. Of course, also the owner of the entire club. His trainer with him tonight, Paige Bourne, who's been with the club for a few seasons now as well. On the other side, head coach of Bavarian United, Bob Spielman, not only the coach of this WPSL squad, but also now director of Bavarian United MLS Next program. His assistant, Brian Weiss, heads up the girls program over at Bavarian United, and team manager is Peggy Boris. So excited to bring you this live stream of this fantastic Milwaukee derby. We don't get many of these in the States, and to have two teams just about 10 miles apart from each other. This is a true derby, and we are off. Bavarian United taking the ball first as they work the ball through the back. Now trying to work it outside. Strong backline for Milwaukee, headed by captain Kelly Swenson. Swenson, a graduate of UW Milwaukee, but also played professionally overseas for a season. And also lined up with her is number 13, Bonnie Lacey, and number 11, Shannon McWilliams. Bavarians trying to work it down the other side of the pitch. Obviously an artificial surface here at Hart Park. Newer turf laid down just a couple of years ago. Mistake there by Torrent, coming down the line for Bavarians. Played in the middle, shot on goal. Nicely played there by Mickey Easter, making her debut for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Like many of her teammates on the Torrent, and like many of her opponents on Bavarian United, she is out of Marquette University. Redshirt freshman who's played all 16 matches this past season. Ball played up by Easter. Torrent now trying to keep some possession. Haley Johnson gives up the ball, almost won it back, but at least forced it backwards. Bavarians looking for a quick goal here as they continue to pressure this Torrent defense. Riziak was on the ball for Bavarian. Johnson plays the ball back to Lacey. Lacey trying to get it to Locante. Bavarians get a call in their favor. Looked like Laney Higgins was off to the races. But instead, center referee Alex Hofstetter calls a foul. Opportunity here for Bavarian United. Expect to see this ball floated into the box onto the right side. Instead, ball gets played in the middle. Kelly Swenson got a head on it, and Torrent still trying to get it out of their defensive third. LeConte on the ball. Plays this outside. Twombly, who is a forward all the way back in the defensive line. Lacey does well to win that ball. Very busy on this near side to us are Bavarian United. Ball played in the middle. It is a foot race, and Swenson gets in there to send that ball out of bounds, and the first corner kick of the game goes in favor of Bavarian United. Some good communication there between the three Torrent players. And Swenson playing it better safe than sorry. Schwartz on the corner for Bavarian. Played into the box. A lot of blue jerseys. This one is sent out, but just momentarily. Back to Schwartz it goes. Schwartz tries to send it in. LeConte gets in the way of that pass. Goes out of bounds for a Bavarian throw near the corner. Ball out of bounds for a Torrent goal kick. Easter handling her own goal kick duties, sends this ball up. Torrent have gotten this ball over the midfield line just once, and it was not a danger at all to Bavarian, but Bavarian on the other side here looking for that early goal, instead nicely played up as Twombly tries to apply pressure. Parker Donahue in goal for Bavarian United. Plays that out to her right side. Nick Williams plays this ball up. Haley Johnson saw on the right side of the field all the way over to the left. Torrent once again looking to play this ball up. Kenzie Balseric wearing number 21. Played that back. Torrent again trying to move forward, but Bavarian defensive line very strong and playing a very high block, shortening the field for the Torrent. Opportunity here. Fingertips saved by Easter, sending that one out of bounds for another Bavarian United corner kick. Well, some very early pressure here by Bavarian United. That one almost paying off. Very quick counterattack. But the score remains 0-0. Same scoreline Bavarian United had against the Chicago Kicks in their first game of the season. Ball bouncing around a bit. Easter gets a hand on it. Able to cradle the ball at the last minute. And now the Torrent defense able to take a breath, at least momentarily. Ball sent up by Easter. Takes a bounce at midfield. Johnson had a touch, but ball kept moving around. And Bavarian United, well, momentarily were in possession, now right back to the Torrent. Ball Balseric on the ball. Still on the ball. Now plays it back to Swenson. Out to Lacey. Lacey up to LeConte. LeConte with a heavy touch. Able to win the ball back, though. Nicely done. As Torrent looked to reset, sending this back to Swenson. And Easter. Nice footwork by the goalkeeper. Plays this up to LeConte. LeConte picks up her head, begging for a player to check in. Finally gets one in the midfield. Lainey Higgins with the ball, playing it back to Swenson. Outside to McWilliams. Nice 1-2 play, momentarily anyways, as Mia Hurdle, getting her first start as a Torrent player, takes the throw-in. Twombly back to Hurdle. Hurdle trying to send that one up for Haley Johnson. So nice to see Haley Johnson back in the blue and white. I'd mentioned in the pregame she had spent the past 3 years with Chicago Red Stars reserves. Twombly now on the ball. Ball sent out as United once again look for a counter-attacking opportunity. Will this turn into something as this ball is played to the far right side? Sent into the box. Swenson with the heavy leg sends that up. But only so far as the 30-yard line. Ball sent in just over the crossbar. Bavarian United looking very dangerous here. 3 or 4 shots for Bavarian United.
Its sponsors an appreciation for their continued efforts to make top-level women's soccer a reality in Milwaukee, including Bayer Leverkusen.
When this turf was first laid down, this was a very, very fast pitch. Number of sports, as you can see just by looking at the lines in the field, are played almost daily on this artificial turf. And has actually started to slow the ball down a bit. And I think in many ways the players appreciate that. But certainly right now they are getting a feel for this turf that feels much different than it has the past 2 seasons when it was brand new and causing that ball to play extremely fast. Lacey with a nice run, now playing it out to LeConte. LeConte looking up for Twombly. Twombly in the corner. Can she get a turnaround on the player? Looking for the call from the assistant ref. That is a goal kick for Bavarian United. Elsie Twombly playing her college ball at Marquette University. Like many freshmen, a redshirt freshman. I say that because of that which shall not be named caused many players to redshirt to keep their eligibility so they could end up playing 4 years of college ball. Nice move there from Lola Wojcik. Wojcik still on the ball. Plays this up to LeConte. Conte trying to play it up, but instead goes right to a Bavarian United player. Riziak playing this to the middle of the park. Throw-in for the Torrent. We are blessed in Milwaukee to have 2 very strong Division I women's programs. Marquette and UW Milwaukee, both very strong programs. And as this game goes on here, you'll hear me say a number of those players' names. Speaking of which, that was Haley Johnson on the ball. Haley, I mentioned she played for Chicago Red Stars the past couple years, but plays her college ball at UW Milwaukee. This coming fall will be her final season. It will be her 5th year because she is able to play due to the shortened season that was had because of the pandemic. Griesiak on the ball once again for Bavarian United. One of the few players not of one of the Division I programs here in Milwaukee. Griesiak actually out of Indiana University. Quick throw in for Bavarian. Ball sent in. Foul after the play, says center referee Alex Hofstetter. By the way, the other men in the referee crew today, nearest us is Corey Beecher. On the other side is Stephen Bagan. And fourth official tonight is Alexander Gligorovich. Some familiar referees here in the Milwaukee area. Ball sent in by United. Torrent holding defensively. Ball played out, and we did have an offside flag against Bavarian United. Well, Bavarian United has had a number of opportunities on the goal. One fingertip save by Easter. Others going wide or over. And even with that, the Torrent defense has held very strong so far. Nice play there by Johnson, trying to play that one to Twombly. Instead, controlled by Schwartz, who plays it back to Donahue. Now LeConte looking to take that ball instead. Well, no foul called on that play. I thought perhaps there might have been. The referee says no, let's just do the throw-in. Once again, Bavarian United trying to move very quickly. That won't do it as Bonnie Lacey does get a touch, but sends it out of bounds. Another throw-in for Bavarian United. Haley Block with the throw-in, plays it into the corner. Thompson trying to turn Swenson. Instead, Swenson gets a touch. Ball goes out of bounds for the third corner kick for Bavarian United. Randy Thompson out of Cincinnati standing over the ball, but instead coming down the field is Gabby Schwartz to take this corner for Bavarian. Schwartz, a defender out of UW Milwaukee. Nicely played right at the top of the six. Easter comes out, gets a fist on it. Ball played out of the box. But again, there is another Bavarian United player, that Brittany Bailey, trying to send that one back into the box. But very easy play there for Mickey Easter. Easter elects to punt this ball. Johnson trying to bring that ball under control. Does go to McWilliams, who sends it right back to Johnson. And back to McWilliams. Strong tackle there by the Bavarian United player. Now perhaps a counterattack opportunity for the Torrent. Bavarian United said, no, we want the ball back, and they do get it back. But just as I say that, Torrent almost able to control that ball. Wojcik not able to keep it in. A worthy effort, however. Throw-in for Bavarian. Quite a difference in age between these two clubs. FC Milwaukee Torrent, founded in 2015, so a club that is 7 years old. A little different compared to Bavarian United. Bavarian United was founded in 1929, so they will be celebrating their 100th anniversary in just 7 years. Offside call in favor of the Torrent against Bavarian United. Very easy call. And our first substitution of the game, we'll see Senya Moyer coming onto the field, getting some fresh legs out there as we are in the 18th minute of play. Coming off for the Torrent is number 10, Lainey Higgins.
substitution for FC Milwaukee Torrent. Playing the game, number 5, Seven Moyer.
Bavarian United trying to work
Substitution.
the touch lines. In fact, every run that they've basically made has been down either the near or far touchline. Not much through the middle of the field. And they continue to do so. As this ball is once again sent into the box. No one there for Bavarian. LeConte will let that roll out of bounds for another FC Milwaukee Torrent goal kick. If you are just tuning in, you are watching this live stream of WPSL action. FC Milwaukee Torrent in their debut game this season, hosting Bavarian United. A true derby in the truest sense of the word. Both teams from Milwaukee, just about 10 miles apart from each other. Bavarian playing their home games in Glendale. And FC Milwaukee Torrent here at Hart Park in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin.
Substitution in the 19th minute.
It was a substitution just a bit ago for Bavarian. Coming onto the field was number 14, Maggie Starker. Twombly tossed to the ground, not deemed a foul, and we play on.
And substitution.
Grisiak coming off the field for Bavarian United. Decent crowd here tonight, especially considering all the Memorial Day tournaments going on with the youth clubs. A lot of families traveling because of that.
Bavarian substitution, number 14.
And yet I know you can't see it on your stream because the press box is on the same side that the fans tend to sit on. But always good to see Hart Park with a very good number of fans here. Score remains 0-0 as the clock just ticks over to the 21st minute. Torrent applying a little bit of offensive pressure now. They've been very patient thus far, but you can see head coach Andy Davi, well, he was walking up and down that line a little bit. Wanted to see the Torrent women continue to apply a little bit more pressure in that final third. Ball played down the line. Starker taking on Lacey. Starker now making her way to the top of the box. Sends this across. Another shot. Touched the Torrent player. That was Kwidzinski with the shot. But ball played all the way back to midfield as Bavarian United looked to reset their attack. A couple of more substitutions will be coming on for Bavarian United. They've had a couple of issues with players getting registered. Had an injury last week in their game against the Chicago Kicks. But they haven't seemed to have lost a step even with those issues at hand. Sana Moyer plays this ball in. Twombly with the shot. Haley Johnson, that is, and it is a goal! Haley Johnson puts that to the left side of Donahue, and in the 22nd minute, FC Milwaukee Torrent go up over their city rivals 1-0. Definitely against the run of play. I did say that the Torrent were starting to apply a little bit more pressure, but let's be honest, Bavarian United has had most of the possession, obviously most of the chances on goal. But the Torrent finally able to apply some pressure in their offensive third, and it pays off as Haley Johnson in a one-on-one with Donahue slots it past Donahue's left.
See Milwaukee Torrent goal, 22nd minute. Haley Johnson.
Of course, let's give credit to Senya Mayor making her debut for the Torrent. A beautiful pass over to Johnson as Moyer gets an assist in her first, well, I'd say that was probably her first 5 minutes or so on the pitch for the Torrent. Can the Torrent keep this lead? I don't impress our stream producer, Kevin O'Connor, much in my life, but he's very impressed that I guessed 5 minutes, and he told me it was exactly 5 minutes from the time she came on the field. We won't tell anybody, though, about that, Kevin, that you're impressed by my feeling out that 5 minutes. Smiles on the faces of the Torrent. Bavarian United still determined. Player with the assist, Senya Moyer, had that ball, played it in the middle. Now Bonnie Lacey trying to keep this in, and she does. Lacey has been a stalwart defender for the Torrent for a few years now. And I won't be surprised if at some point we see Jordan Raleigh get in the field. She's been with the Torrent women's side since day one of that team's founding. Ball out of bounds. Bavarian United throw-in. I was talking to Haley Johnson before the game today, asked her why not another year with Chicago, and she said, well, quite frankly, it came down to the fact that for financial reasons, the Red Stars are not running a reserve team this year. But she absolutely loves Milwaukee. Obviously, she goes to college here. She loves the players on the team. She said she had a great year when she did play with the Torrent. And it was a no-brainer for her to return to the Torrent. And I had mentioned to her, well, when you played with the Red Star reserves, you did a lot of damage against the Torrent, so how about you do the same to the Bavarians? And that's what she's done so far in this first half, as she scored that lone goal so far in the 22nd minute. Moyer on the ball again. Bavarian United with several players back, keeping one up. But Torrent as well, keeping 3 players back. Torrent sensing that United are looking for another counter-attacking opportunity. So they're being careful with the numbers back. Torrent having started out today in a 3-5-1, almost moving here to a 4-4-2 at times. But of course, that is also just a comment on the fluidity of the sport itself. Kelly Swenson looking to send this up. Gets it over the back line. Twombly making a play on it. Trying to anyways. But that is sent out of bounds by Gabby Schwartz. Torrent throwing, and another Bavarian United substitution coming onto the field. Well, coming onto the field for Bavarian United is Jordan Jeffers. And another substitution for Bavarian, number 16 coming onto the field, Kate Collison. Collison, another player out of UW Milwaukee. And coming onto the field for the Torrent is number 8, Rebecca Payo. Haley Johnson taking a break for the Torrent. If you are new to the WPSL, substitutions are unlimited. You can return to the field. It really is considered a development league, which is why there are unlimited substitutions. The majority of the players in this league continue to play college ball. And Bavarian United threatening once again in the box with a nice step and turn, and now a pass. But Kelly Swenson there to answer the call. Will she? Thrown to the ground as she's trying to shield the ball. Referee comes in quickly. Some nice sportsmanship there from both players as the Bavarian United player stood up, basically gave Kelly Swenson a sideways hug. That's Taylor Hattori for Bavarian United. That was on the ground momentarily. Good to see her back up and running.
With your purchase, you'll help grow outdoor soccer in Milwaukee. The Pro Shop is your best place to get everything you can find with the Torrent logo. Wear with the Torrent logo. Visit the Pro
Ball
Shop
sent in the box. Danger here. Easter once again jumping off the ground, tipping that just over the crossbar. Well played by Easter. Corner for Bavarian. This one played in. Couple of heads get on it, but instead Swenson sends it out just to the top of the 18. Payo applying some pressure. Ball goes out of bounds, and Bavarian United with the throw-in. However, substitution for the Torrent or not? Looked like there was going to be a substitution. Yes, there will be now. Coming onto the field is Maddie Solaric. Solaric, the younger sister of Leah, who had played with the Torrent a couple of years back. And coming off of the field with a very strong start to the game, Mia Hurdle. Hurdle, a player out of Marquette. And I will proudly say out of Kettle Moraine High School. I say that because my youngest daughter, Bethany, plays JV soccer for Kettle Moraine. Always good to see members of your community continue to do well in the sport that they are passionate about. Solaric gets her first touch of the game. Plays that up to Twombly. Twombly plays this in the middle to Wojcik. Wojcik playing it all the way across. Odin. Intercepted pass. Moyer trying to get it across. Nice flick on here as Easter comes out and grabs that ball. Haley Block with the nice flick as she was making that run. Saw Taylor Hattori making the run on her left and expertly played, if not just a little bit ahead of Hattori on that run. Block once again. Looked like the player may have been offside. Torrent was looking for it. But of course, Ayer on the far side has a better look at it than any of us. Deemed the Bavarian player to be onside. Another substitution here for the Torrent. Coming onto the field, returning is Lainey Higgins. Taking a break now is Lola Wojcik. 33rd minute of play. Ball sent up by Easter. Twombly with the touch. Higgins Plays this up to Cehlarik. Cehlarik not able to get there, and Bavarian right away coming down the far side. Ball played in, shot on goal. Easter there with the save near post. Lights starting to come on at Hart Park for this Milwaukee derby in the Women's Premier Soccer League. FC Milwaukee Torrent up 1-0. Beautiful night for some soccer. A little bit of a breeze, but not a cloud in the sky. Rained a little bit earlier this morning, and since then it's been nothing but clear skies. Easily offside call there by the second AR. That's Stephen Bagan. Bavarian player, well, probably about 3 or 4 yards offside on that call. And Torrent making yet another substitution in this first half. Alexis Miletus coming onto the field as Twombly, who's been working very hard up front, takes a break. Speaking of Miletus, got a small first touch, but now Bavarian United making yet another quick transitional play. Nice work there. Cullison on the ball once again. Apologies, this is Haley Block on the ball. Now Cullison trying to get around her player. And as she was making that run, Auden goes down and Block is called for the foul. Bonnie Lacey taking the free kick for the Torrent. Sends this one up just by midfield. Oden plays this across field. Nick Williams plays it back to Swenson. Swenson sees Cehlarik. Cehlarik not able to get there. That ball played just a little too fast. Goes out of bounds for Bavarian United throw-in. Shot on goal, not on goal, but it was a shot. Goes over the end line. Easy goal kick for the women in blue. Just about 9 minutes away from the end of the first half, plus whatever stoppage there might be. I guess would be only a minute or two if things continue as they are. No major injuries out there. No cards. And the Torrent looking to break through once again. On the ball is Lainey Higgins, taken down. Torrent bench wanting to see a card for that one. But instead, just a free kick. Kelly Swenson taking these duties. Bavarian United will have to be careful. Swenson has a leg on her. Can basically put this in the box anywhere she wants to. And in fact, if you look at the way the Torrent is setting up, they're not giving any indication of where it will go. But it is in the box as Bavarian works to get it out. Payo on the ball. Nicely played back to Oden. Oden looks to play this up. Miletus not able to control that ball. And Bavarian United looking once again to make a counterattack. Oden running as fast as she can to try to cut this off. Ball played into the box. And instead, Torrent walk away with it, and now they look to play quickly up the field. Payo keeps it in, but does end up losing the ball to Franceschi. fast and furious is what I described these last couple of minutes in this game. Almost reminds me of Rocky III as Sylvester Stallone is exchanging punches with Mr. T. But who's going to get the knockout? That's the question. Donahue sending this out to her left side. Franceschi on the ball for Bavarian United. Starker. Play the ball back to Bailey. Getting difficult to see some of these numbers on these gray jerseys as Bavarian United look to make their way up. This is Hattori on the ball. But once again, Torrent stand up to any pressure, sending this ball forward, where it goes right back into possession of Bavarian United. Elhert plays this ball up. Substitution here for Bavarian United. Going onto the field for Bavarians, number 5, Jacqueline Jaros. And we shall see if we can get confirmation of the player coming off. Looks like number 7, Haley Block. Jaros playing her college ball out of the University of Minnesota. Storied program up there. For many years, they were the team to beat in the Midwest region. Yes, they play in the Big Ten, but my point is that they were always one of the top teams in the country, and especially the top team coming out of the Midwest. Still a strong program up there in the Twin Cities. Throw in by Starker. Lacey gets a touch, sends it over the end line. Corner kick for Bavarian United. Torrent will have to be careful. Less than 5 minutes left, according to the stadium clock. Certainly don't want to give up a goal this close to halftime. Ball sent in, beautifully placed. Not much trouble for Easter, who runs out of her goal, picks the ball up off of the bounce. And now the Torrent looking to expand as they move forward. Just about every player from Bavarian United moving back. Perhaps they're having the same thoughts. You don't want to give up a second goal right before this halftime whistle. Torrent looking to move this ball around, perhaps just keep possession. Instead, goes back to Bavarian on a throw-in. Franceschi with the throw. Moyer applying pressure. Ball played back by Bailey. Ellert allows this ball to go all the way across the field. Missed touch there from Balsaric. But McWilliams on the ball for the Torrent. And once again, ball goes out of bounds. Now a double substitution here for Milwaukee. 2 starters returning to the field. Haley Johnson, your goal scorer in the 22nd minute. And Elsie Twombly also returning to play up top for the Torrent. Coming off the field are Rebecca Payo, as well as number 19, Alexa Melidis. Melidis, another Golden Eagles player, as she plays her college ball at Marquette. Strong defensive play on the far side of the field by Maddie Solaric. But yet another corner kick for Bavarian United. I've not been keeping track, but I believe this is their 5th or 6th corner in just this first half. 44th minute of play now. Torrent lead 1-0. Ball headed, or it does go out of bounds as Torrent can breathe easy once again. As Easter will handle this goal kick, checking her shin guards, making sure everything is okay, aka killing a little bit of time off that clock. Alex Hofstetter already looking at his wrist. We'll see if we get confirmation of how much stoppage time there might be at the end of the first half. Williams doing well to shield that ball. Crosses the end line for yet another FC Milwaukee Torrent goal kick. We are officially in the 44th minute of play. Of course, with this being a Milwaukee derby, we got some great showing of fans here at Hart Park in Wauwatosa. Can the Torrent find their way to a second goal just before half? We've just been informed that there will be only 1 minute of added time. And Solaric making that run down the far side, does get a touch, able to turn her player, sends it in, but Donahue there to meet the ball. We are officially into stoppage time, actually 5 seconds into it. Perhaps each team will see maybe one more try at goal. McWilliams sends this up to Solaric. Solaric brings it down with a nice touch. And Bavarian United making yet another run at the Torrent goal. Kelly Swenson in a foot race, able to win it, sends it back to Easter. Easter tries to play the ball upfield, but only goes so far as the head of a Bavarian United player. Swenson now sending this ball back upfield. Nice turn there by Higgins. Higgins still on the ball. Now she plays it up to Twombly. Twombly making a run at the Bavarian United goal. Nice cut by Twombly. Now tries to play it in the middle where it is intercepted. And Bavarian looking to turn this ball right back around. Instead goes out of bounds. And that will do it as we end the first half of this WPSL regular season match. FC Torrent up 1-0 over Bavarian United. My name is Simon Provan. We'll keep the cameras rolling, but I'm going to take a break, get some water myself, and we will see you on the other side of this break.
the latest FC Milwaukee Torrent gear. Get the latest FC Milwaukee Torrent gear at the Pro Shop. We're located near the concession stand here at Hart Park. With your purchase, you'll help grow outdoor soccer in Milwaukee. The Pro Shop is your best place to get everything you can find with the Torrent's logo. Wear what the Torrent wear. Visit the Pro Shop near the concession stand here at Hart Park. The Torrent's men's side will be back in action here at Hart Park on Saturday. Thanks again to FC Milwaukee Torrent's great sponsors for their support. WPSL Soccer, including Confluence Graphics, Family Options Counseling, Nick Webster at RBC Wealth Management, Splat DPI, La Quinta Inn and Suites, and Werner and Associates. Reminder, food is available. Today's match, El Tanapa Mexican Cantina and Grill. Or grab a Torrent Kolsch from Rookery Brewing. You can find Rookery Brewing at the concession stands in your locker room.
Welcome back to FC Milwaukee Torrent as the women are taking on Bavarian United here at Hart Park in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, with that 22nd minute goal by Haley Johnson. FC Milwaukee Torrent up 1-0. But I'm pleased to bring into the booth right now somebody I've known for a few years, head coach of the men's side of FC Milwaukee Torrent, and my brother, Steve Provan. Steve, welcome to the booth here up at Hart Park, and I know it's been a rough start for you this year, right? A couple of losses. You want to talk through just a couple of ideas of what's going on? Of course, Muskegon was really frustrating because you had a shortened game due to lightning. What?
Very frustrating match. I would say that we've had a tough start right now. New coaching staff and a group of new players. So in both games, unfortunately, were travel games. So the first game against the team from Detroit, Carpathia, that was a 6-7 hour road trip, which isn't the most conducive to playing.
And let me throw in there a road trip that was completely unexpected a few days beforehand, right? I'm not sure of what all happened, but I do know that it was supposed to be a home game for you on the 14th, and it turned out that Carpathia couldn't make their way here to Milwaukee. So just a few days beforehand, you found out you're actually going there, and then they'll finally make the return trip on June 4th. How do you handle a situation like that?
Well, you just you get the news, and as a professional team, you just have to deal with it, coaches and players, and prepare for the match like you would any other scheduled match. So, that being said, we prepared for the game. We ended up playing on not the best surface. It was a grass pitch, and wasn't a very nice grass pitch. And we play a possession style game, and it wasn't conducive to a possession style game, but it was our first game nonetheless in an away game. And it took us 10-15 minutes to get our legs underneath us, and we made a couple mistakes in the back that they capitalized and scored goals on. They scored the first goal, then we equalized it. They got a quick second goal, and then the second half they ended up getting a red card, and really we spent the half in their half trying to finish, and just couldn't get that goal to tie the match. So for first match, it was frustrating not to get the result. And then we traveled to Muskegon, and Muskegon, give them credit, they're a very good, solid team, and they jumped out on us the first 10-15 minutes, and then we got our legs underneath us, and then we started getting into weather issues and multiple delays. Hit the post twice, and we were playing better. The very frustrating part was that we had about 20 minutes left in the match that we thought we were close to breaking through and hopefully not only tying the game but going ahead, and we just weren't able to do that, and spent multiple 30 minutes in the locker room.
Right, so moving forward now, you have Panathinaikos tomorrow night, and first of all, you're going to have to work on being able to say Panathinaikos. It took me a whole season to be able to say that one smoothly. Of course, for short, we call them PAO. What are you looking at as far as tomorrow afternoon? That game, by the way, at 2 o'clock here at Hart Park. What can we expect from that match tomorrow?
PAO, because I haven't figured out how to say the name
I had
either.
to put you on the spot.
But watching the matches from last year, good, solid team. They tend to drop back and play a counter style game. For us, it's our first home match, and we're going to come out and be aggressive. We want to control the ball. We want to control the narrative. I think what you're going to see from us is a possession style game with high intensity and looking to create a lot of chances.
All right. Well, Steve, thank you so much for spending time with us. Second half is just about to start here for the women's side. I've been talking to Steve Provan, new head coach of the FC Milwaukee Torrent men's side. Again, they play tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock here at Hart Park in Wauwatosa. I wish you the best of luck, Steve.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right.
We're going to get that W.
Sounds great. Good luck with that. Thank you for your time. All right. We will be back in just a bit for the second half of FC Milwaukee Torrent taking on Bavarian United. Welcome back to the FC Milwaukee Torrent live stream as the women's side is hosting Bavarian United. Just about to kick off here for the second half. A quick review of the first half. Bavarian United coming out very strong in the first 25 minutes, had the majority of the possession, majority of the opportunities on goal, and yet it was the Torrent who got on the board in the 22nd minute. A beautiful run down the right side of the field by Senya Moyer. Played it across the box to a rushing on Haley Johnson, who slotted it past the left side of Donahue, and that was the only goal of the first half. And as it is, things remain 1-0 here at the start of the second. Starting the second much the same way of the first, as Bavarian United come out very strong in their final third. Ball sent out of bounds, and Bavarian United get the first throw of the second half. Randy Thompson with the throw-in. Correction, that was Jordan Jeffers. Ball goes out of bounds for a goal kick for the Torrent. Nikki Easter in goal for the Torrent. Ball goes out of bounds near the midfield line. Referee crew this evening in the center is Alex Hofstetter. AR nearest to us, Corey Beecher. On the far side is Stephen Bagan. And fourth referee, who was just chasing down an errant ball on the field, Alexander Gligorovich. Mia Hurdle called on the foul. Bavarian United with a free kick near midfield. Taken somewhat quickly by Emily Ellert. As I mentioned at halftime in that interview with head coach of the men's side, Steve Provan, men have lost their first 2 games of the season, both away games. They have their first home game tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock, right here at Hart Park. They'll be taking on Panathinaikos of Chicago. They were a strong team last year and also a strong team this year. I'll review their results a little bit later. This is the first game this year completely for the women's side. Things in a very positive direction at the moment as the Torrent are up 1-0 here in the 49th minute. However, Bavarian United have been pressuring this final third all game long, and that continues here. Moyer, who had that wonderful assist in the first half, gets a touch, sends it forward. Haley Johnson taken out, but advantage is called, and now Twombly on the ball. Still on the ball, takes it into the box. Nice touch to her right, shot, goal! Elsie Twombly here in the 49th minute of play. What a stand-up play by Elsie Twombly, having to fight for that ball. Taken on from behind, but able to cut the ball to her right. And then calmly slots the ball into the back of the net. Beat a couple of players on that run. And now making it 2-0 for the home side.
Milwaukee Torrent,
And might I say, well officiated there as well by Alex Hofstetter, to recognize that though Haley Johnson went down, Twombly possibly had a chance on goal. Great job by the referee to call advantage on that play. Nobody happier than Elsie Twombly and perhaps head coach Andy Davi. Bavarian United substitution, Taylor Hattori, making her way back to the field and taking a break. Looks like it was number 15, Hannah Krupa. Now it looks like we have either injury or some type of situation, as the center referee walked the Bavarian United player over to the bench. She is grabbing her hip. We'll get confirmation of who that is in just a little bit here. Paige Bourne, trainer for the Torrent, is going to have a look. It looks like that is number 7, Haley Block. If it is indeed blocked, very strong game from her today. So much of the Bavarian attack started with Block, making some fantastic passes, strong runs. Bavarian already dealing with some injuries. Certainly don't want to see any of these players to be caused to not be able to go back to their collegiate teams. It didn't look that serious, but nevertheless, you certainly hope at the end of the day all of these players are able to walk off this field, regardless of the result. Well, back to the play at hand. Moyer tried to look to play that one up to Hurdle. Goes out of bounds. Hurdle with the throw-in. And Bavarian United in possession once again. Well, I know owner of the Torrent and head coach of the women's side, Andy Davi, said he'd be happy if 100 people showed up tonight. Well, Bavarian United with an opportunity on goal. Easter gets the shot first, but bobbles it. And saved by her defense. Easter giving McWilliams a low 5, saying thank you for stepping in. Back to the audience comment in just a bit as Bavarian United once again threatening this Torrent goal. Swenson with that original play out. And now Haley Johnson looking to apply some pressure. Both forwards now with a goal today. Johnson in the 22nd minute, Twombly in the 49th. Misplayed by the Bavarian forward. That was Rachel Dallett. Ball out of bounds, throw-in for the Torrent. Anyways, back to the audience comment, or the crowd comment. Davi was saying he would be pleased if 100 people showed up tonight, considering all the youth Memorial Day, Memorial Weekend tournaments that are going on. So many families travel outside of Milwaukee. My own daughter and wife are going down to Schaumburg for the tournament down there. And we've got quite a crowd on hand for this Milwaukee derby between the Torrent and Bavarian United. Twombly once again applying pressure to that Bavarian defense. Not able to win the ball directly, but it does go out for a throw-in for the Torrent. Plenty of other games going on tonight in the WPSL. Not many posted scores, however. But we do know the score of this game in the 56th minute. FC Milwaukee Torrent up 2-0 as they put pressure in the Bavarian United defensive third. Once again, a throw-in here for the Torrent. Twombly gets a touch. Can she save it to keep it in? No, she cannot. Goal kick for Milwaukee. The only other score posted so far tonight, the Cincinnati Sirens topping FC Pride 3-1. Like I said, plenty of other games being played, just no scores posted at this time. Still early on in the Lake Michigan division in the WPSL. I had mentioned Bavarian United and Chicago Kicks Football Club had drew 0-0 just about a week ago. This is the only other game on the docket thus far. So at the end of this evening, we could see FC Milwaukee Torrent. Yes, it's early, but we could see FC Milwaukee Torrent at the top of the Lake Michigan division table. Of course, I don't want to be accused of the commentator's curse, so I'll just pretend I didn't say that. Bavarian looking to reset once again at midfield. Trying to find a new way into the Torrent 18. But the Torrent have other ideas. Twombly screaming for the ball. But Moyer had no way to get that to Twombly. But you still like to see that communication out on the field. Another substitution for Bavarian United coming onto the field is number 14. Maggie Starker out of Marquette. And coming off the field,
For the Bavarians, number 14, Maggie Starker.
number 6, Gabby Schwartz. Easter setting up for the Torrent goal kick. Easter, another player out of Marquette. She, as a redshirt freshman, played all 16 matches. She started, I should say, all 16 matches that she appeared in. And while we have a number of great returning players to the Torrent, this is Easter's first year with FC Milwaukee Torrent. And so far, in the first 60 minutes of play, you got to be pleased with what you have in that goalkeeper. Another substitution for the Torrent, Liesel Oden returning to the field. She got some action in the first half.
Substitution.
And she will be replacing Ryan Locante. And we have our first train, ladies and gentlemen, of the evening. Felt a little too quiet here. Nice to have a train come through and liven things up a little bit here in the 61st minute. You know, Canadian Pacific is not a sponsor of the Torrent, but it certainly feels like it with the amount of trains that we have come through here. Bavarian once again trying to work this ball around. Stand-up play by the Torrent defense as Mia Hurdle was able to win that one. Slid about 10 yards to do so as well. Ball trickles to Easter, who takes her time, waiting for some pressure to pick up that ball. Taking as many ticks off the clock as possible. And now simply sending this up to midfield. Torrent about to make another substitution as Higgins will return to the field. We shall see who it is that she replaces. Looked like a possible handball there at the top of the box. But instead we play on. Easter once again sending this to midfield. No foul in the play. A couple of Bavarian players ran into each other. Ball played back to Hurdle, who sends it forward to Twombly. Johnson with a beautiful Maradona ball. Johnson looking to take this one in. Too big of a heavy touch. Loses possession. Wojciech looking to get back on the end of that one. Instead, ball is sent all the way back to the Torrent defense. Bonnie Lacey making a strong play on the right side. Bonnie Lacey playing that one out to her right. Ball played into Twombly. Wojciech looking for Haley Johnson. Johnson with a goal in the 22nd minute. Will she add to her tally tonight? Back to Hurdle. Ball sent out of bounds for a Torrent throw-in. Now we'll see these substitutions happen. I'd mentioned Lainey Higgins will be returning to the field. And on the other side, Bavarian's Michaela Schmelzer returning to the field. Coming off for the Torrent is number 9, Lola Wojcik. Ball just goes out of bounds before Hurdle was able to get a foot on it. By the way, taking a break for Bavarians is Trudy Kwidzinski. Kwidzinski, another one of those UWM players out there on the field tonight. You got to wonder what those locker rooms at Marquette and UWM will be like this fall. On these players who are facing off each other in this derby match in the WPSL. The bragging rights some of these players will have over the others. Love to be a fly on the wall for some of those conversations. Bavarians pressing forward once again. Bonnie Lacey, can she answer the call? She did get a touch as that ball went over the end line for a Bavarian United corner kick. On corner kick duties is a Haley Block. Ball sent in. Moyer able to get ahead on it. And now Hurdle. Haley Johnson with a touch on the ball. Ball near the top of the box. Strong play there from the Torrent captain, Callie Swenson. You can't get much past her, and she showed that once again. This ball sent in the middle. Just a bit too far. As Moyer tries to get possession of the ball, looks to send it up to Twombly, but instead it goes out of bounds. Twombly, though, wins the ball back after the throw-in. Higgins just came back onto the field recently. Plays this ball back. Here on the outside is McWilliams. McWilliams to Hurdle. To Twombly. Twombly looking to play that back to Hurdle, but just a bit too far. My apologies again. Haley Johnson was the one that tried to send that ball forward. Speaking of Johnson, back on the ball she goes. Takes a shot. Just over the crossbar. She saw Donahue stepping out of that goal. And Johnson was looking just to get it over her. Be a goal kick for Bavarians. And Johnson gets her break in the second half. Making her debut on the season is Katie Swenson. Yes, the younger sister of Kelly Swenson. While Kelly went to UWM, Katie has played her college ball at Division III UW Whitewater. She has had a great first season at Whitewater. Started and played in all 19 games for the Warhawks. Even registered 2 assists. This is a bit of a... Every time she plays at the stadium, it's a bit of a homecoming. She went to Tosa East High School. Haley Johnson taken down from behind. That'll be an easily called free kick for the Torrent. And speaking of Katie Swenson, she is standing over this ball, taking the free kick for the Torrent. 68th minute now. Torrent still up 2-0. Swenson, nicely played ball into the box, headed out by the Bavarian defender. Kelly plays this ball up to Twombly. We'll see if this is onside. AR raised his flag, and that is the correct call from my vantage point. So Katie sent in the first ball, Kelly sent in the second, and Twombly just a bit offside as that second ball was played in. McWilliams, Katie Swenson. Foul called against the United player. Shove in the back from Maggie Starker as Katie Swenson had possession of the ball. Well, last season Bavarian United got the better of the Torrent in this derby match. And so far tonight it is the opposite as FC Milwaukee Torrent up 2-0. First goal in the 22nd minute by Haley Johnson. Another opportunity here for Twombly. Goal! LC Twombly in the 69th minute of play puts the third notch on the scoreboard for FC Milwaukee Torrent, and that is a brace for Twombly. Well, just as I'm talking about how the Torrent seemed to have the better of Bavarian United in the derby tonight, Twombly puts up another goal, making it 3-0 now in favor of FC Milwaukee Torrent. Katie Swenson, who I was just talking about her fantastic career at UW Whitewater, credited with the assist on Twombly's second goal. Very patient play. Very patient play by the Torrent this evening. Bavarian United, we don't keep official stats on possession, but I think if we were, we'd see Bavarian United with 55-60% of the possession tonight. But give credit to the Torrent defense. Mickey Easter making some incredible saves, 2 fingertip saves in the first half that really kept the Torrent in this. And another opportunity here for Bavarian United, running this ball down the middle of the field. And now sent out of bounds. No, kept in bounds. In fact, it will roll out of bounds for a Bavarian United throw-in. That ball just did not want to cooperate with what I was seeing. But yeah, FC Milwaukee Torrent not caring about having more possession tonight. The only thing they care about is getting more goals in the back of the net, and they certainly have done that. 72nd minute of play. You are watching FC Milwaukee Torrent host Bavarian United in this Milwaukee Derby match and regular season Women's Premier Soccer League. Getting a bit tongue-tied here in the past couple of minutes. But thanks for staying with me. My name is Simon Provan. Very happy to be on the call tonight. Missing my color analyst, Brad Kostreva. He is out with illness. Brad, if you are listening in, we miss you, bud. And hopefully we'll see you later this season. Bavarian United at the top of the box. Attempted shot blocked by the Torrent. And once again, another block shot. Haley Johnson running in to get the ball. Shoved to the ground. Head coach Andy Davi not happy about that at all. And Alex Hofstetter shows the yellow card. Shows the yellow card to Maggie Starker. Johnson thrown into the bench almost. And seems to be okay walking on her own 2 feet, but she is subbed out now along with Twombly coming onto the field. Number 19, Alexa Miletus. We saw her for a bit in the first half. And I believe Rebecca Payo just returned to the field for the Torrent as well. Ball bouncing around in the Bavarian box. It looked like Donahue maybe thought that was going to be a goal kick, so she allowed it to go over the end line, but instead it is a corner kick for the Torrent. Katie Swenson, who played that long ball to Twombly in the 69th minute for the 3rd goal tonight, now taking this corner kick for the Torrent. Looks like Milwaukee will be bringing on Caitlin Owens for her FC Milwaukee Torrent debut. But first, this corner kick sent in, put in a nice spot at the top of the 6. But instead, foul called against the Torrent. Substitution now as Caitlin Owens does make her Torrent debut. Coming off from a very strong play, having played all 75 minutes so far, Shannon McWilliams. McWilliams plays her collegiate ball in Minneapolis, actually St. Paul, at University of St. Thomas. In her junior year, she played 14 games and started 9 of them. And before she went to St. Thomas, played her high school ball at Catholic Memorial High School, as she is from Pewaukee. Katie Swenson with the throw-in. Owens on the ball, back to Swenson. Ball in the middle of the field for the Torrent. That was Balsaric playing the ball back to Bonnie Lacey, who looked to play the ball up. And once again, a little bit of a header there from Lacey. Now plays it outside. Maddie Solaric will be returning to the game for the Torrent. We'll see in a moment who it is she goes in for. And for Bavarian United, Trudy Kwidzicki will be returning to the field. Tip of a header, Kelly Swenson pulling on the arm. That will be a yellow card issued to Kelly Swenson. That's one of those cards you call a professional foul. Swenson knew she was beat and knew her only option was to slow down the player, and in order to do so, she just grabbed her arm. Thankfully, there were other Torrent players back, so that did not turn into a red card, only a yellow card. Not sure if the referee would have deemed that dog so anyways. But it certainly would have been a very fine line had there been no other defensive players around. In the end, no trouble for the Torrent, as that ball sails over the crossbar after Haley Block's attempt. to sail that into the 18. As I mentioned, coming back to the field for the Torrent, Maddie Solaric. Coming off is Kenzie Balsaric. On the other side of the field, Trudy Kwinzinski returning for Bavarian United. Brandy Thompson taking a break. Swenson with a nice flick. Taken down was Lainey Higgins. Katie Swenson taking this free kick. Sends it into the box right in the middle. Headed out by the Bavarian defender. Swenson right back on the ball. Nobody there for the Torrent, but we do see a racing Solaric. Not able to win that ball. Does go out of bounds for a Bavarian United throw-in. Kelly Swenson applying pressure, ball played across the box. Ball sent in. Torrent once again some strong stand-up play defensively. But ball still alive in the box. Now sent out, goes out for a Bavarian United throw-in. Rachel Dellett on the throw. Torrent defensively tracking almost every single ball that comes near them. Even from here, you can hear Easter yelling out to her players who to make sure they have. One of the many things you need from your goalkeeper. Not afraid to call players out, tell them where to go. And so far, Torrent defense is listening to her perfectly. Bit of an errant throw-in by the Torrent. Ball in the box now. But once again, one player in a gray shirt running into four players in blue. But United still keeping this ball alive. Throw-in for United as that ball did skid off of a Torrent player's head. Wasn't sure who it was. Katie Swenson getting a touch, giving Bavarian United another corner on the night. I think this is number 352 for Bavarian United and their corner kicks. Kevin saying no. More than that? It's been a lot of corners for Bavarian United tonight. Ball sent in. Quite a play there by the Torrent defense. But ball still bouncing around. Bavarian looking for their first goal of the night. Shot from outside the box goes over the end line. And finally the Torrent can breathe a sigh of relief. A couple of substitutions happening here for the Torrent. Returning to the field are Kenzie Balsaric and Lola Wojcik.
Torrent substitution, Kenzie Balsaric and Lola Wojcik.
taking a break for the Torrent and maybe done for the night. Lainey Higgins, that's number 10. Number 5, Senya Moyer. Both of them making their Torrent debuts tonight. Very strong play from both of them. Wojcik in the midfield. Moyer, a substitute that played in midfield and got an assist tonight on that very first goal. Haley Johnson scoring in the 22nd minute, with Moyer getting that assist. Of course, we'll review all of that in our short post-game that we'll have after this game ends. That's usually when the post-game comes, after the game ends. That's why it's called the post-game. You see, Kevin? That's how the English language works. By the way, if you're just tuning in to this WPSL match, this Milwaukee Derby, welcome and thanks for joining us. My name is Simon Provan. FC Milwaukee Torrent up 3-0. We are in the 85th minute of play, and before we leave here tonight, I do have to give a shout out to my streaming producer, Kevin O'Connor. He's been such a gift to this club. FC Milwaukee Torrent trying to play strong defensively here. Ball sent out. Bavarian United looking to at least get one goal on the night. But Mickey Easter, if she has anything to say about it, grabs another ball off of the bounce, preserving her shutout this far. Very pleased that our stream was voted one of the top ones in all of the WPSL. And we thank all of you who voted for that, but so much of that has to do with my man, Kevin O'Connor. All the graphics you see, all the countdowns, the placards, all the wonderful camera angles, the multiple camera angles, is all thanks to him. Some malaise out at the FC Milwaukee Torrent crowd, as Kelly Swenson was putting on quite a show with every move she was making. I've decided I want to bring Kevin here on air. So, Kevin, you heard me thanking you publicly, man, but, you know, this really is a labor of love for you. I mean,
yeah.
What motivates you to continue to do all this? Every time you call me, I feel like you've got something else to share with me that you've upgraded the system with.
Well, you know, it's just, you know, last year was so fun. Andy was gracious enough to give us some new equipment and, you know, really just taking it for that, right? And just trying to take it to that next level and really create that top-notch streaming for our Torrent fans who can't make it out to Hart Park. So, again, it's just something fun for me. I'm certainly not into this to get rich, but, you know, certainly with my background and being in grad school and not having a job right now, you know, as I joke with my wife, I'm a kept man. But, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's fun learning. You know, if you tuned into our pregame show, we did a little throwback to the 90s DVD video bouncing logo. So, you know, if you catch that, you might catch it going into the corner, that sort of thing. So,
well, again, I certainly appreciate it. Just even everything you've done for me with all of this.
I appreciate that.
And as you said, I mean, I'm glad you had mentioned it, that we have to give so much credit to Andy Davi for the investments that he's made in all of our media stuff, because without that investment, we don't get to do any of this. But, you know, you've also put in quite a bit of your own money into some of this as well. And I am so glad we can take advantage of you for that.
Nice to be taken advantage of, Simon.
Well, Kevin, I'm looking forward. We've got many more games to cover. Certainly hope most of them, if not all of them, can turn out like the game we're watching tonight.
Yeah, this has been a great game so far. Certainly I'm not a soccer aficionado, but or football as we joke. But, the Torrent really has taken, advantage of the chances that they've had. They haven't had many, but when they have, they've scored. And that's really the big turning point for this game.
Yeah, if you're watching this game on the stream and you're in Milwaukee, I know that you can't make every single game, but I think you would agree, Kevin, that while we love to have people watching the stream for our own selfish reasons, if you're in Milwaukee, we'd much rather have you at the stadium and experience this great soccer that we're watching tonight.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit it on the head, and Andy kind of set expectations low, but I think expectations were vastly
underestimated,
exceeded. I mean, that's a great crowd, very raucous crowd. We have quite a few people over in the flood section there. T-Man, our flag bearer, Torrent T-Man, he's over there making some noise. I heard he got some trombone lessons, although I haven't heard that yet. But
I've heard that as well. And you know what? Let's give credit to him, because on the stream, when we're on the side of the Torrent here in the second half, you see all the anchors that are out there, which are basically the logo of the Torrent. You see flags representing different countries, different states. That's all T-Man that does that.
Yeah. I mean, he's super dedicated to this club, and certainly he's been around since day one. So somebody like me who's been maybe year two, I think I came in, and we're lucky to have him. Just like like we're lucky to have you and a lot of our other wonderful volunteers, and you have Ben on the camera tonight, who's doing an awesome job.
Opportunity here for Bavarian United. Looks like this will be another corner kick. Yeah, go on, continue.
Yeah, we have Ben, a fellow Warhawk. I'm in grad school at UW Whitewater. Ben's there for undergrad.
I was wondering what the fist pumps were for when I was talking about Katie Swenson.
Well, it's funny enough. I would probably fit in the middle of the Swenson family. I got my undergrad at Milwaukee.
Ball sent in, saved off the line. What a wonderful play. That is the statement of the evening for the Torrent. I didn't catch who that was. I think that may have been Bonnie Lacey. Kevin's, again, with the wonderful stuff Kevin does, he's going to go back and see if he can catch that on the stream. But that was literally saved off the line, preserving this shutout so far. We are in stoppage time, as it were, and it looks like we have 2 minutes of stoppage, so another about minute and a half left in this game. That was indeed Bonnie Lacey saving that ball off the line. My goodness. Here we are talking about how exciting this game is in person, and then we get a play like that. How fitting.
Yeah, this Torrent defense has just done a really good job, anchored by by the captain, Kelly. Again, fellow Panther, and her sister, fellow Warhawk. Like Tom Brady, I don't know which jersey to wear upon my induction to the Hall of Fame here. But you're certainly right, Simon. Just the atmosphere, over the last several years has just grown and grown.
Strong play by Easter just to send that ball out of bounds. 91-20 on the clock, about 40 seconds. Dependent on the official watch of Alex Hofstetter. Give credit to this entire referee crew tonight. Kevin, I think they've called the game very fairly.
It's been a very clean game too. I mean, you get you keep calling it a derby. Oftentimes there's kind of bad blood. These inner city rivalries, and you typically maybe get a little physical, but it hasn't been the case this year. If I remember right, the last couple years, or last year's games were pretty physical.
Yeah, we've seen a little bit of shoving. It is a contact sport. But that will do it. I'll get back to that thought in just a second. FC Milwaukee Torrent, winners tonight, 3-0. And really quickly finishing up on that thought, I would imagine, Kevin, a lot of the play may not be as rough tonight, since you've got so many teammates collegiately facing each other tonight. I'd mentioned both from Marquette and UW Milwaukee. And of course, the Panthers and Golden Eagles players, they all know each other. So many of them are from Wisconsin themselves. They've played high school together or against each other. And, you know, when it's all said and done, they want to make sure that they all can play in the fall for their next collegiate season. But we're going to take a break real quick here. We will come back just to wrap things up. But FC Milwaukee Torrent, your 3-0 winners over Bavarian United.
Bavarian United, 0.
Welcome back to this live stream here at Hart Park in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Our final score tonight, FC Milwaukee Torrent 3, Bavarian United 0. A great way to start the season for FC Milwaukee Torrent. They took a lot of shots, not first game of the season, right? Getting tongue-tied already. They defensively held very strong. They had a lot of shots coming at them. They weathered that storm, and then in the 22nd minute, Haley Johnson, after a wonderful run from Moyer on the right side, Moyer sends the ball to her left. Haley Johnson runs onto it and slots it on past the left side of Donahue, bringing the score to 1-0. That's how the first half would end. Second half would start very much in the same way, where Bavarian United had most of the opportunities on goal, but Mickey Eastersheaf held very strong on the ball, preserving the shutout, of course, with that 3-0 scoreline. But Elsie Twombly getting her first goal of the game in the 49th minute, unassisted, very strong run down the middle of the park. Haley Johnson gets taken out. Credit to the referee for advantage being called. Twombly taking on two players, looking like she's going to lose this ball, but cuts to her right foot, slots it past Donahue, making the score 2-0. Then Twombly completes her brace tonight after a beautifully played ball by Katie Swenson. Ball's on the other side of midfield for a free kick. Swenson sends it into the box. Twombly takes a couple of touches and puts it in the back of the net to complete her brace for the evening. FC Milwaukee Torrent, again, winners tonight over Bavarian United, 3-0. We will have our player of the game, Elsie Twombly, come on up into the booth in just a moment. See us on the other side of this very quick break. All right. Well, we told you it would be a short break, and it was. In the booth with me is Elsie Twombly. She is, I said player of the game, but actually co-player of the game. Of course, Mickey Easter with the shutout is the other player of the game. But Elsie, we're going to start with you tonight. We'll make this short. I know you want to get in the locker room and celebrate. Walk us through both goals. The first one was in the 49th minute, 4 minutes after the second half started. Very strong play from you. What were you thinking? Ref calls advantage, and you keep making your run down the line. Walk us through that first goal.
I kind of saw the defenders hesitate, so then I just went through with the play and kind of cut back, and then saw the goalkeeper was off the line, so I just played on the ground hoping to go through. It was a great play by Haley to start, and then when he called advantage, it was just even easier because the defenders were really hesitant. So
I know it can be frustrating on the field where you think you have the opportunity and the referee blows his whistle. So
yeah,
I know
sure.
you don't like to say this, but you got to give credit to the center referee on that one, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And then a brace tonight. You're a returning player to the Torrent, showing leadership, not just through words but through action. Walk us through the second goal. Katie gave you a fantastic ball, of course, to play off of.
Yeah, it was another good play by Haley. Kind of like went off her back, and then I ran off for her, and then caught the defender and just played it through. So it was a really good play by both Katie and Haley. So.
All right. Well, we will let you go. We'll go ahead and bring Mickey in here. But again, congratulations on a brace tonight, and what a way to start the season.
Thank you.
All right. As they switch over their headsets, there's no clean way to do this on a live stream, which is totally fine. But we don't want to bug your ears with all the switching around. All right, so Elsie, of course, I just mentioned is a returning player, but this is your first year with the Torrent, Mickey, and what a way to start as a goalkeeper, a 3-0 shutout. Got to give some credit, of course, to Bonnie Lacey keeping the shutout out that save off the line.
Yeah.
But you made a number of great saves tonight, but especially in the first half, you had 2 fingertip saves pushing the ball over the goal. Walk us through those saves, but also what it meant to make your debut tonight in such an extraordinary fashion.
Well, in the first half, I know that the one came off of a header and just read it all the way through because everybody was marked up, and I felt really confident that they were going to make it a battle in front of me, so it was really easy for me to read that. And then the second one, I had Shannon just closed it down on the side, and then it was, again, another easy read that I was able to tip over.
Typical goalkeeper, makes fantastic saves and gives all the credit to the defense.
They deserve it. They deserve it. It makes it so much easier for me. Absolutely.
So I do have to ask, what brought you to the Torrent?
So I am from Culpeper, Virginia, and I've played soccer in Virginia my whole life leading up to college, and this is my first summer staying on campus for the summer because I'm in grad school, so I was able to get a spot, and I'm happy that I'm here.
Fantastic. Well, again, I know you want to get into that locker room and celebrate with your teammates, especially your defense, who you're giving all the credit to, but give some credit to yourself. You had an outstanding game tonight.
I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate
you.
it. Mickey Easter, the co-player of the game, along with Elsie Twombly. We will take another short break. We'll come back for just another 30-second wrap-up, so we will see you on the other side of this break. Welcome back to our final segment here in the post game of the FC Milwaukee Torrent. Women beat Bavarian United tonight 3-0. But before we go, I want to give some special thanks to Ben Sturridge, who was running the camera tonight, doing a great job with that so that all of you watching weren't getting seasick or anything like that, you know. Of course, to Dylan Dooley, our public address announcer. Dylan is not new, but he's going to be our man mostly for this year, so we're happy to have Dylan. I'm not looking at camera when I say that. I'm actually looking at Dylan. So, Dylan, thank you for all your great work tonight. Mentioned it before, but I'm going to mention him again. Kevin O'Connor. He's the man producing the stream, running all the cameras, and, of course, telling me when to shut up when I talk too much. Finally, to my brother and the head coach of the men's program, Steve Provan, for coming in, giving us some insight into the men's season thus far and what we can hope to see tomorrow at 2 o'clock. So again, we will be at Hart Park all weekend long. We had our first game tonight. Now we have our next game tomorrow, 2 o'clock, as the men take on Chicago Panathinaikos, also known as PAO. And then on Monday, Memorial Day, we have a game at noon as the women will take on the, now I gotta cheat and look at my cheat sheet here, the Midwest Select SA Muskrats, a new club not only in the WPSL, but a new club altogether. Again, Monday at noon for the next women's game. My name is Simon Provan. Thank you for joining us. FC Milwaukee Torrent winners tonight, 3-0 over Bavarian United.